Hello YouTube, especially former collega's in NATO, especially Dutch former collega's. You hear all this news and war rhetoric about a potential deployment of NATO guys, perhaps even my former Dutch collega's, to the Ukraine, which would be, of course, utter madness. I keep warning for this, and I also keep warning that you really should think about the Second World War, when for common regular soldiers the defense, like I was just following orders, was not sufficient enough to save their lives. Something to keep in the back of your mind, always. Always. And now, things really start to heat up in this kind of rhetoric, because just listen what Alex is reporting, what Mr. Medvedev said. I would really listen, Dutch collega's. Careful.
Iskander. That's I think the line that Russia's going to take with this NATO mission. Medvedev, well, he was a lot more hawkish in his response to the news of this new NATO mission. Medvedev basically said that Russia will view any NATO troops in Ukraine as the enemy, and Russia will annihilate the enemy. And the Russian soldiers that annihilate the enemy, they should get rewarded handsomely for annihilating the enemy. In a post on social media, Medvedev
So that means that there will be a bounty on your head. Let's be honest. There will be a bounty on your head. I would guess the chances of you out there in that battlefield surviving compared to a Ukrainian guy is non-existing. You will be hunted. And yes, I know you can all put on the same kind of uniforms, right? So you have the same uniform as a Ukrainian. They will never see the difference. Right. So yes, this is really escalating badly for the people I care about. And not only in the army. Also for us, the rest in Europe, about all this bloody war rhetoric of insane, suicidal, I can't even call them leaders anymore, individuals that we still allow, yes, you hear me correct, we still allow them to do this. We can stop it. Yes, I know. A friend of mine yesterday reminded me, hey, that is punishable by law in Holland, to call out to the people that they should revolt, that they should rise up. Well, if you need to make a law that forbids people to call out to get rid of their government, then why the hell were you cheering for a Maidan coup 2014 in the Ukraine as being a model of democracy? right? So yes, we, Mark Rutte, and all you warmongering idiots out there, we still allow you. It's just a matter how long. You get my point? But hey, keep doing what you are doing, and the Russians will make sure that there is some changes around us in Europe.
Lashed out at Kiev's Western backers,
With my aid, by the way.
arguing that they are taking
Gladly.
the world for fools if they believe that sending foreign forces to Ukraine would not lead to dangerous escalation. If NATO soldiers do end up in Ukraine, they will not be limited to non-combat roles, he claimed. They will become part of the regular forces that are fighting against us. That is why they will have to be treated only as the enemy. Medvedev, who currently serves as deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, wrote, "We should take no prisoners. The highest rewards must be given out to every killed NATO soldier." So Medvedev is very clear in his statement.
Yep.
It's very, very clear. NATO soldiers. That's going to be the line in the sand. Keep your commanders, coordinators, planners, pencil pushers, administrators, accountants, whatever. You can keep them in your offices throughout NATO. They're already there. Look, they're already there. They already exist. Now they can just come out and reveal themselves. That's basically all that has happened with Sikorsky's statement. But the minute you cross that line in the sand and you start sending NATO soldiers, which is very possible, this is how escalation is done. The minute we start seeing NATO soldiers entering Ukraine, we are going to annihilate them. And we're going to hand out rewards to the Russian soldiers that annihilate the NATO soldiers that enter Ukraine. Any NATO soldier that agrees to go to Ukraine, that follows orders and goes to Ukraine is being sent to their certain death. Because the Russian military, they're not going to treat the NATO military the way they've been going at Ukraine, at least for the first 2 years. The way they've been going at Ukraine, that's not how they're going to handle NATO.
No.
So that's the warning from Medvedev. But he's very clear to say NATO soldiers. NATO soldiers will be viewed as the enemy.
So, at the start of this bloody conflict, I made a video back then already, yeah? And a lot of people saw it. Dutch soldier speaks out against NATO, and got also quite a bit of flack for it, but I don't care. I will keep speaking out because I do care, but I don't care about people giving me flack for it. I do care. Dit nooit meer. This never again. The only, God honest truth, the only reason I joined to become professional in the army. This never again. And in my opinion, the only way that I could figure out for myself that I could contribute to this never again was in joining the army. And I know, and a lot of people who did pay attention to some of my videos know, that it is also very personal, being born in Germany, to guarantee to the rest of Europe this never again. It's our duty as Germans. It's my duty to my German heritage. This never again. So, and I know for many people this is not like that. They simply don't care. What are you rambling, you old fool? And I know many there in Holland back then, when I made some of the videos and remarks against Zelensky and our government and how they are traitors and Nazis, that many people in Holland got really pissed at me, even to the extent to cancel my Twitter accounts. 3 of them. So, okay. The Dutch don't like to hear the truth. Nothing new. Nothing new. It's just how they are. But I did warn you already at the start of this conflict. Don't get misused. Because you will be misused. Macron said it even out loud. For fuck's sake, guys. Come on, listen. Use your brain. Macron said what? He would position those French troops as a deterrent for the Russians. So they wouldn't do any combat. There wouldn't be combat troops. They would just be there to be a living shield. And then, if those troops were attacked, basically he proclaimed, well then, yeah, what can you say? We French were attacked. So you want to be that bait for the bear? Yeah, that goat? Picture yourself now. To be on that stake in a clearing in a forest, waiting for a wolf or a bear, and then hope that that hunter will hit target. But do you really think for just 1 second that they would risk everything in a full-fledged war against Russia and China and all the BRICS members and community in the world? Don't forget, we are, and they don't tell you because they don't want to scare you, NATO soldier, but we are just a speck in this world against much more billions of people. So yes, that's what we gonna lose, guaranteed. And maybe not even because it becomes a full-fledged war against all those countries. I don't think that. I think, however, that it will lead to even more economical and social destruction in Europe and in the USA. Heck, they're already doing a grand job, don't you think? Why the fuck? Like really, I ask myself, why the fuck are we not focusing on keeping first everything in our own borders safe? Sounds like a plan? I think that's where it starts. Defense, not offense. We have no business in the Ukraine. We did not have any business there whatsoever, except of course business. But as NATO, as army, you have no business out there. Well, I'm making a report about some guys in Holland who think you have a business there, who are trying their hardest to push for escalation, among others Robert van der Noorda, so-called investigative journalist, this SBU asset. Those people, would love to send you to your death. He makes good money out of it. So, he also likes it when certain networks, like naval fella networks, do a sort of crowdfunding for certain illegal actions. He's even dumb enough to do that publicly on Twitter, which I find fucking hilarious. Well, that's a whole different story. About AIVD, Military Intelligence Services, Gladio, and why your Dutch government, who is very willing to send you, why? Well, they can wash their hands. Don't you remember? Last year, the Dutch army is under command of, yes, the German army. Therefore under Scholz, if you want to look at it like that. Directly under the Americans, because the Americans, if you really want to go to the bottom of it, they are the ones in charge of Germany ever since World War II. So, and they are also the ones who blew up Nord Stream 2. Very convenient when you are the occupier of the country to which against you committed a terrorist act. Very convenient if you are the occupier. Then just like you claim in Russia, you know, in the former USSR, they did the same, right? You claimed always to me in my childhood talking about the USSR, how bad everything over there is. Well, I remember all those history lessons and the talks and the propaganda, and I clearly see us doing the same as was claimed about the USSR. I also see us do the same that we claim was so despicable. What Germany did in the Second World War, genocides and support of countries to genocide. Well, we see the same in Gaza. The former victims are the new, you know what. And that's all on the watch, under the guiding eyes of NATO. That army that you are serving in currently, and that was supposedly created to keep the big bad enemy from the east away, right? And to make sure that this never again would indeed never happen again. We would be all, after all, one happy family, all united in NATO. No need to fight wars in Europe then amongst each others. Or is it? Yeah, I would suggest listen to Mr. Medvedev, and don't sign up for the Ukraine. You're not a coward if you don't sign up. You're a smart individual. And if you didn't sign up because you understand the you know, the Nazi problem in the Ukraine, and that's the reason you didn't sign up, because you don't want to partake in it, then I applaud you. Then we, you and me, we are brothers. Have a nice day.